Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, you know what that means.
Let's see, when's the next time do you reckon I'll be able to say that? I don't know. We can talk about Oktoberfest if people want to talk about Oktoberfest as well, but I'm going to talk about some video games I don't like, and I think some of them are going to surprise people. I think no one's going to guess any of the 5, to be fair, but we'll see. Hi to the Joneses, we're going to see them at the weekend. I was going to give them a big intro, actually.
Oh! Sorry.
But I'll save that for the vlog on the day. I was going to give a big intro today.
Excuse me.
But is there any video games you want to mention before I get into the thick of what I'm doing?
No, you get in the thick of what you're doing, because I have literally just come back from work straight away. So I hope the week's been kind to you, everybody.
So if you didn't see last week, it's on the channel. Also, just want to plug quickly, we've got some of our latest vlogs in the description as well.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, number 5 is a bit of a weird one. I don't think I'm going to get hated for this. I think there's some closer to number 1 that I might get hated on for, but this is a game that I wanted. You're going to hear this a lot from me tonight. This is a game that I wanted to like, and I gave it a chance, and parts of it are really good, and there's some good set pieces in it. But Trey's here as well. Yeah, you're in time, Trey. There's some good set pieces in it. It's a horror game, and there were some bits that didn't work, or some bits that were a bit silly, and then it decided to just pad out the game with a lot. At the start of the game, you have some driving bits, which I'm going to show in a minute, but it's decided to pad out the game with a lot more taxi driving later on to go to these essential points that you have to destroy, because I'm talking about, it was kind of a remaster of it at the time, and they've done a better game since, but this was Alone in the Dark. I think it had a subtitle only on the Wii. It was called Alone in the Dark Inferno, because there was a lot of fire involved in killing the monsters and stuff. And this is actually one of the better driving sequences near the start, where you're driving around and all this stuff's happening around you. But later on, they decided to pad out the game, because a lot of the game takes place, you know, third person in buildings. It's a kind of pseudo horror game, I guess. But a lot of this was good, this bit, I'll admit. But later on, you have to drive to Central Park and just drive. It's not even roads anymore. You just drive around. But I wanted to like it, but it was the last game I remember ever, and I made it a few times, where I played a substantial amount of it. And then I just said to myself, when I had to get back in the taxi again, because it happens quite a few times in the game, we have to jump in a taxi and go and destroy a load of things that are related to the boss's power or something like that. And I was just like, no, this ain't happening no more. I was like, I can't play this anymore. It's like when they screwed up our thing at Flamingo Land. No offense, Flamingo Land, they sorted it out. But when we had the social rally this year and they mucked up the ERS, and I just went, this ain't happening. I was like, we're going to sort this out now. To the woman, I was like, this ain't happening. You're not just sending us away without ERS when we've paid for it. But that's a different story. The other thing about this game, it should be in this clip here. When you get damage, he has skin damage on the outside of his clothes. He's wearing a leather jacket there. He's got loads, like a shirt and everything underneath.
So the shirt's not like looking like.
It's got skin damage graphic on his outside that doesn't even look realistic.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, and I don't know if anyone else thought this, but I thought you were going to say Crazy Taxi at first, because you mentioned taxi.
I don't like Crazy Taxi, but it's not bad enough to. It does what it needs to do. I'm not a fan of arcade games. I like to get into a game, and I don't like too repetitive stuff. But I wanted to like this game, and it just wasn't very good. I don't know if anyone's. I think a lot of these games in this top 5 tonight, people aren't going to have played. I really didn't like it. I wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it, and there are a few good bits in there. But the demon's voice is laughable, especially when he's talking out of this woman early on. And if I remember rightly, it's been a while since I played it, but I remember hating it. It's to do with fire, like that's how you mainly kill the bad guys and stuff. And the stuff in the buildings is really good. Hello, Fairground DeLorean. No Sonic today. He'll be happy about that. I did actually go back actually at the weekend, just to everyone, and I actually gave Sonic CD a chance, which wasn't on my list, and it was all right, but I don't think I'll ever play it again in my life. It's just because I had to play it and do it full and proper and get a good ending, and I was sending Fairground Glorian some pictures while I was doing it, but never again. It's just there's no point in playing Sonic CD. Off on a tangent here, but if you're not going to go for the good ending, but to go for the good ending, you have to jump through a load of hoops. And Sonic Origins Plus Collection also has infinite lives, which helps. No, it's not play Crazy Taxi. Didn't it have Offspring
Yeah,
on
the
it?
Offspring.
Yeah.
It was mainly.
Was it only Offspring?
Yeah, the Offspring was the soundtrack. I think they had the odd Sum 41 one as well, maybe, but it was mainly Offspring that they did.
It's good, but it's not great. It's not Sonic 3 standalone without Sonic and Knuckles. Ironically, Knuckles is my favourite character, but I do prefer Sonic 3 on its own.
I have seen the Offspring live, so they are amazing.
All of these games coming up are actually all on different generations of platforms. So this was an Xbox 360 and PS3 game. I think I did it on PS3, and I'm sure on the Wii it was had the subtitle Inferno, but it's just such a bad game. And then I remember this much as well. In the story, I didn't complete the whole thing, but in the story, your main character is somehow meant to be the same main character from the original Alone in the Dark game, even though that took place decades or hundreds I can't remember how long ago, and it just didn't make any sense. He didn't look anything like him, and it's like, and then there was just a load of pseudo-religious stuff which never works. I've already put that up, haven't I? But I don't know if there's any other. I don't think people are going to have many comments on these games because they haven't played them themselves necessarily. I don't know if you want to jump in with a game of your own before I go to number 4.
No, you go for it. I just wanted to get here on time.
And also,
to do the intro before you.
Also, if people want to talk about Oktoberfest, apparently there's a new beer, and apparently it's called. What is it called? Someone's going to tell me in a minute. It's got like, it's a word like fantastique, but it's fantastic. It's spelt like German with a CH at the end. And there's a theory. I'm not going to mention names in case anyone gives them trouble, but there's a theory someone told me that it's just Laugh and Scream under a new name. So that'll be interesting.
That's really cheeky if they've done that as well.
Quake's a good game, yeah. I only like one 9 Inch Nails song, but it's the one we've got on Rock Band. So.
Yeah. I love, that's one band I've not actually seen is 9 Inch Nails. I love 9 Inch Nails.
Fantastic. That's it.
My brother's seen.
Do we know how much the pints are yet? Has anyone taken a photo of the signs? Because it's just, I've got a feeling they're going to go up from $7.50 at the CBeebies event, I think it was, or some event recently, and I think it's going to go to like £8 a pint. It's going to be insane.
Oh, they don't want people getting drunk. That's what it is.
Oh, it's orange flavour beer. That sounds.
I'm going to say it sounds like Fanta.
No, it was just meant to be a play on German. The next game I think people are going to like, and I'm going to have to go into a bit more details why I don't like it, but it was on PS4, and it's very similar and around the same time as Lego Worlds, I believe. And I remember we bought it, and a load of our friends bought it so we could play online, and we were going to have a good time. And it was a remake, part of the series of a game. Well, essentially, it was Micro Machines World Tour.
Oh my word!
And I'll tell you why. Because all they had to do was make it looks good. And again, I wanted to like
the
it.
Graphics look good.
And all they had to do was make Micro Machines with these style graphics, a load of tracks, online play, done. They only had, I believe, between 8 and 10 tracks total. It might even be less than that. As far as I remember, you had to be online constantly because you had a profile that it kind of added points to. When you went online, I don't believe you could pick the circuit you played. And if I remember rightly, and I could be wrong, or they might have updated it, you couldn't do a private match either. And there are about 10, maybe more battle arenas, and I wasn't interested in the battling. And then there was a ridiculously low amount of racetracks on it. And it was just so bad, and it was such an easy win and such an easy goal to score to just make Micro Machines with those graphics, and they just completely failed. And I just always remember it was so bad.
I felt like the tracks were a bit short.
Yeah,
I felt like they should have been longer, the tracks, but it was just really weird. Wait a minute, I only want 1 9 inch. What?
There, I mean, the online requirement. Okay, but they didn't add many more tracks, did they? Well, we're not reviewing how it is now. It probably still isn't as great as the other Micro Machines, but there was a lot of limitations. Again, like Lego Worlds, where it didn't make the list,
I
but
think I know which one that one is. The Grand DeLorean with that Nine Inch Nails song. Is it the one that Johnny Cash did? Just saying.
Rock and Roll Racing was good. Yeah, that was a good game.
Slightly more modern version of rock and roll.
But yeah, it was. To look at it online, there were all these, like online before you buy it on the internet. I mean, it looked a lot better than it was, and then it just seemed like all these restrictions, or it just seemed like it got rushed out. Like no one play tested and went, do you know what? People who love Micro Machines just need a lot of racetracks and be able to go online with their friends. No, what we need to do is put a load of battle arenas in because that's fun. That's what people want to do on Micro Machines. I've never been a fan of like.
The Ouija board one that's cool though.
That's a battle arena.
That's a battle one, yeah.
I've never been a fan of fighting games where you're in a vehicle, really. I know, unless you're also racing at the same time, but if you're just literally fighting other people. I know America has battle modes as well, but Sibby's here. Are you going to Oktoberfest, Sibby? It's going to be brilliant. Yeah, we are spoiled, Trey. I'll admit that. 96 tracks in America. I'll admit that, but
we're very lucky to have that. Things with remakes nostalgia will ruin them, but for the kids who don't have that,
it was just the lack of content. And then I'm sure when you went online, you couldn't have a private match, and you couldn't pick you kind of got put in. I think you could take some friends in the lobby, like on Fall Guys, for example, but you couldn't have your private race. And you went in, and it was all about, well, whatever score you get is going to be added to your profile. But I don't know. Fairground Lawyer is telling me some of that stuff got taken off now. Johnny Cash is a good singer, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I quite liked as well.
What did you think of Micro Machines World Tour? Do you remember it?
I remember it, and like I said, I remember playing it, and I just went, well, that was really short. And then I thought, is there any other tracks? And you're like, these are the tracks. And I was like, really?
There are a lot of cars on it, though.
And I was quite surprised.
I'm sure you had a Ghostbusters car. There are a lot of cars on it.
I think I did make a joke saying Micro Machines, micro tracks.
I tell you what is a good game for someone who wants...
It was just so weird.
If you want a similar Micro Machine experience, play Hot Wheels Unleashed or Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 on the current consoles. But that would still be better if it had slightly over the head because it's behind the car. But you can collect loads of different cars. That's a good game. And we're not here to talk about good games, but I think the new Funko game, Funko Fusion, looks good. It looks very similar to Lego games, but it's like a 3D view, and you unlock the actual Funkos, and it's got like Shaun of the Dead, and then you got the Funkos from Nope and stuff like that. It's really cool. All these worlds come together.
I would say we'll have to do a Mario Kart night with some people as well that have already got us on like Nintendo Switch and stuff. But at the minute, over the next couple of weekends, we do have a lot planned, haven't we? So
busy. Got to go to
it's going to be
got to go to Oktoberfest on Saturday.
So whenever we do get an evening, we'll try and arrange something to obviously do gaming and stuff when we're all free.
Oh, so that made you get out the old Micro Machines for PS2 because there was this one on PS2 as well.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Oh. You have a new bit of kit. What bit of kit? Oh, it's in like your new camera thing. It did look quite interesting, actually. Sorry, I can't get my words out tonight.
I don't know what the Joneses are talking about there. I thought he was going to go on a rant about the big like playset that was when you folded it up, it looked like a camper van.
Oh yeah, I actually had not an actual Micro Machines, but I actually had a Homer Simpson like nuclear sort of like cart like van, and when you looked inside it, you actually saw Homer Simpson with like a tin, and some of the ooze came out that was going towards him, and he's just like,
how does that work?
It literally is a magnifying glass at the back of the car. And you just go...
What, a Micro Machine? That'd be so small as it is anyway.
Mine wasn't... I don't think mine was a Micro Machine. It was just like a normal sort of like... You know, the metal ones?
Yeah.
And it was one at the back. But that just took me back then. But I don't think mine was a Micro Machine. What is that?
Yeah, that's...
Sorry, just reading the comment. But that really took me back. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, make sure everyone buys the book. Thanks for that, Trey. I might try and get another book done for Christmas. We'll see yet.
Oh.
Everyone go and check out Trey at some point.
I think we should do a vote. Should Mike do another book? I think he should.
No pressure.
I'm still going through the puzzle book, so.
We end up playing Simpsons Hit and Run today. Yeah, Simpsons Hit and Run is good. I've got it on game. Well, I think I've got it on Xbox and GameCube. Since Hit and Run was good, but the maps were really small. It was like GTA, but imagine if you just went straight down the road, it just circles back around on itself. The big loop. That's what it was. Oh, Andy sent me a photo of. I want to check this out. He sent me a photo of what he was talking about. Yeah, I don't know if I can show it on camera.
Oh.
Photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Oh, that looks quite cool. Well, they're actually micro machine size.
It makes me laugh. Well, which one is it? Oh.
I'll try to show it on the camera. They were like micro machine size, and they had the magnifying glass literally in the top.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if it's going to focus on that, but that looks quite cool.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, you can't actually see in the magnifying glass; it's just a photo. But so we'll go on to. We're going to get through these quick tonight, I think.
Do you know? I think I might have seen them, but very long time
I've seen them
ago.
just now. Yeah, that's the first time I've laid eyes on them.
I'm trying to remember if my brothers had them, but we had quite a collection of like different types of metal cars. But I don't know if we.
So does anyone actually disagree with 5 or 4 so far, apart from Fairground Lawyer, who doesn't think Micro Machines World Tour should be my 4th worst game of all time? Oh, in fact, another thing I think I mentioned on the show last week, only because we've got it right beside us. I mentioned, was it last week where I mentioned I got Lego Jurassic World on the PS3 a while ago when it was first out, brand new, sealed. And when it arrived, I didn't expect it to be like that. And I didn't mind because the game was in English, but the text on the back and on the front, any of the text was in Dutch. And because I realised because it had the Netherlands flag on the back. And it happened again yesterday, was it, when it arrived? I ordered a game that I wanted to get, and I put in a low bid of 15 quid and I got it sealed. But do you want to show them the game? I didn't know till I looked at the back. I got Go Vacation, which is a really good game. Imagine like Wii or Switch Sports with a lot more games, and yet you can go around an open world before you play them as well. But all the stuff is in German on the back, but hopefully the game's in English.
Let's see if I can.
But I just thought that was really funny. That happened again, and I think I mentioned it last week with the Lego Jurassic World.
Wonder Wilston, Wonder Wilst.
That's not translating it. That's just reading it out.
Hello.
I have a second camera. That's new bit. Okay. Don't tell everyone everything. Don't see any spoilers in there, Sibby.
I'm Sparta.
Go Vacation needs online play as well. But what I like is if you've got other Mii's on your console, it populates the world with them, so you're going around the different.
Over 50.
I could have said that.
In 4 resorts, but this one at the top.
Is it in English as well then?
Who will win? Who will win? I think one will do.
Anyway, let's get on to number 3 while she's doing that. This is a game that I think a lot of people remember, and we actually own it. It was on PS1 and N64. And again, the fact I don't like it is because I expected a lot more at the time, and it's very repetitive. And this is, I think it was the first game they ever did of the TV show. This is the South Park video game. And the intro was really good, recreation of the intro from South Park. But I think the game itself, it was like an FPS, but it was just so repetitive, so quick. And because the draw distance was small and it's in first person, almost like Silent Hill with the mist there, but not in a good way.
I felt like it kept crashing sometimes when I saw it. Yeah, because the snowball one especially was like throwing the snowball. It actually crashed a couple of times on ours. It
was a bit fun with multiplayer.
At one point, like a turkey was stuck on my head as well at one point, and I couldn't see where I was walking.
Go Vacation's on eShop, I think. Yeah, I think it's currently on sale, but it is about 27 quid. So I just went on eBay and got a sealed one a lot cheaper. But yeah, it is a really good game. You can play up to 4 people at once. But it's just the fact it's open world as well. I mean, you've got other weapons later on, but again, it's weird because I'll play racing games and people could argue, well, they're very repetitive. But there was something about this that got boring real quick, especially if you had it on N64, because you've got like GoldenEye on there and other things. But did you have good memories of it? Because I think you own it on PS1.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I used to play on the N64. And even then, it wasn't great. It was better in multiplayer, but still not great for a long period of time.
I think for me, I just liked the cartoon, and then I liked it for the nostalgia of the intro. And then when it came to throwing the snowballs, I just got really annoyed because it just kept crashing on me.
Funnily enough, there is another good There are two good South Park games actually. The first one is kind of mid, which I prefer to this, and it's Chef's Love Shack, and I think it's on N64, PS1, and Dreamcast, and it's Mario Party, but instead of the board game bit, it's a game show, and then you go to a random game. It just doesn't explain very well what the controls are when you go to the mini games, and they're over real quick because you can die very quickly. But that game's really good. And the other game that is known for being bad and I think is brilliant, and that was on the same set of consoles, is South Park Rally, which is a Mario Kart clone that has a heck of a lot of characters. And the reason it's not, this is the reason I think the game is good, but everyone else thinks it's probably rubbish. And I don't know if Fairgo and DeLorean's played South Park Rally. It is a Mario Kart clone, but instead of having a circuit, you have an open world, various open world maps, and then you have checkpoints that the arrow will point to on the map, or it will show you which way to go, roughly. But you can go any route in the open world you want. So suddenly you've got this game where you've got like all these South Park characters, loads of like lesser known ones, racing around in go-karts around an actual open world South Park, and they're all going different ways because you don't know which they might be going through the next checkpoint on from what you've gone. But a lot of people didn't like it because it wasn't generic. Go on a circuit, it was a bit crazy, but I think South Park Rally is probably my favourite South Park game I've ever played.
I think I remember my brothers playing it, and we were like, "Where the hell did you? What just went past us? Where the hell did you come from?" I think I remember. I don't know.
But I'm sure that had a stupid amount of characters. It was bad in a way, but I thought it was really good as well. I thought the approach for that was so different. And you kind of look up videos to look at it, but also I like the roster of characters on there. I thought it was just such a big.
I think we had that, and then we had like the Muppet one after.
We've got Muppet Race Mania upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, and I quite like Muppet Race Mania.
And we've got I can't remember the exact order to put the words in. It's something like Walt Disney World Magical Quest Racing. It's something like that, and it's like mid. It's a really good concept for a game because the track selection screen is a map of Disney World and the various parks, and then each track is based in the park, and the Haunted Mansion even has the Haunted Mansion music. The problem is it's very well known for being super hard AI in that game, so it's very hard to win. But some of the power-ups in that are great. You have a power-up where you drop it, and then if someone lands on it, that car turns into a teacup and it'll spin while they're trying to drive forward, and it's brilliant. You can add LP20 Mario Kart clone and make quite a good game. You can, yeah. Apart from the Garfield one wasn't very good. But Nickelodeon kart racing is alright. The third one runs worse than the second one on Switch. The weird thing about Nickelodeon kart racing is each game is just the previous game with stuff added to it. So by the time you get to the second one had the tracks from the first game and a few more characters. The third one had all the tracks from the first two games and a few more characters. They weren't completely different games, which was really weird. But South Park Rally, I'd recommend looking at that. I don't know if you've got any more games you want to add at the moment.
No, it's just amazing how you remember all the names, and I'm like, I remember this game that my brothers played, and then that was it. I tried having a go with them, but obviously didn't succeed. So,
is there any other games you want to mention before I'm getting through this quick tonight? We can talk about Oktoberfest as well.
I am, well, I don't know if to wear my lederhosen or not for Oktoberfest yet. We'll see.
You can do.
It depends.
I've seen one photo of the cover over the top of where people sit, and I think that could be good.
Yeah.
Have you got a guess yet what you think my number one worst game is?
I'm still thinking.
I wonder if people can try and guess what number one's going to be, but while I show you number two.
I thought it might be Conquer or something like that.
I love Conquer's Bad Fur Day. It's great.
Oh,
the badness is interrupted by the fact there's so much humour and like language in it for a 3D platform with a squirrel. But
yeah, I'd say that's
Conquer's Bad Fur Day is brilliant.
That's one that I didn't like because of the.
That was the whole point, though, that they did that on purpose.
Monster.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's the only thing that put me off. Was
this second game I want to like because I really like the film, and it's the best film in the trilogy. Even though Andy's going to disagree with me, this was on the Mega Drive, and it's well known for the first level, just putting you straight into this level. And I've got footage of all 4 levels in the game. There's only 4 levels, but apparently people say it was hard because there's only 4 levels in it. Here's commented. Oh, you got to do Oktoberfest on Saturday. It'd be brilliant.
Please, that'd be so nice to meet you.
But I still stand by this as the best film in the trilogy. But as for the video game, It's one of the hardest video games I've ever played, and it is Back to the Future Part 3 on the Mega Drive.
Oh.
I'm sure it was the Mega Drive, yeah. So it just puts you into this level. It has a little bit of like an image in the story. It puts you straight into this level, and you've got to avoid all this stuff that's flying at you.
Yeah.
This is at normal
That's
speed.
Yeah.
Shoot behind you, and you've got all that bit at the bottom. You've got it to the end of the map, right?
Yeah.
So I fast forward that a bit of the footage. I got this is the second level, shooting range. It's not all the same. It's all totally different gameplay for all the 4 levels. And I cut loads of that out as well, obviously. And then the
storyline.
And then the bit where you throw pies at people for ages. And again, it goes on for ages and it's quite difficult. And it's just, you want to like the game because you like the film, but
yeah,
I wasn't a fan. I didn't get past the first level myself, to be fair. But I've seen the rest, it doesn't look great. But I just remember this game, like when I was thinking of 10 worst games, I was like, this is going to be on the list. And the 4th level, you've got to get to the front of the train before the temperature gets too high. And that bit looks like it's just going to kill you if you haven't practiced with the timing on those. It's ridiculous. But look at the speed he gets in the car. And then this is the really weird bit at the end, right? It's this weird, like, philosophical message. You see in your task and helped. Get back to the future. Your future hasn't been written yet. Wait, there's more. No one has. It's whatever you make it. So make it a good one. All of you. As if someone's in the back going, they probably didn't aim that at me. Like, all of you. It's just so weird after a game that difficult. It's not the worst of the films. It's the best. I think the second one's the worst. And I still stick by this. Because they use so much footage from the first one. If you paid to see the second Back to the Future in the cinema...
I'm just laughing at Fairground DeLoreans because I literally, when I went, oh, I then kind of looked at Mike thinking, he's gonna say something. Fairground DeLorean's gonna say something.
I think Fairground DeLorean, if he remembers this game, will agree it wasn't very good.
I can understand why that one would be one of the worst games.
But no, if you paid to watch Back to the Future 2 in the cinema, you were robbed because a lot of the footage was just ripped from the first film. But it's a good trilogy, but I think the third film's the best one. I don't know if people agree. We still haven't found out when Fairground DeLorean's doing Oktoberfest yet, so probably not on Saturday, but we might get lucky. But if anyone's got the means to play this, have a go, but it's just that first level, you'll put so much, if you ever complete that, it will take so much of your time, you'll be annoyed with what's left. It's just weird how they're all different like concepts for levels as well. It's not like the same again for level 2. It's just a weird concept that you start on a whole and you just get thrown into it pretty much. So if you haven't looked up this game back in the day and you're like, oh, I like Back to the Future 3, I'll get on the Mega Drive. What's this? You know, it's definitely the second worst game I think I've ever played. I don't think anyone's going to have a guess at the first one yet, are they? Yeah, I bet Andy's going to play it loads just so we can go, look, I completed it.
It's an okay game. I'm a super fan of the franchise, so I think anything with that IP is golden.
Apart from the second film. But it's my absolute favourite film. It's probably in my top 10, I'd say. But it's just it's such a weird game to make because they obviously spent money on this. It just isn't very good. I don't know if anyone wants to guess what the number 1 game's going to be. We've already got to number 1. Are there any other games that you don't like?
I can't think of any. Like I said last time, it was the Little Mermaid one on the Mega Drive that I thought I'd be able to do, and I found it frustrating with the buttons. There's not many games that I don't like. Each game has a different challenge or a different sort of like emotion that comes out of me. Like BioShock obviously threw the controller over my head. But
that's not how you play the game.
But no, I just got like obviously jump scared. And then, you know, it's what you make it into. Like memories that you get to
2 was the best. I suppose, in a way, if you like the first one, 2 is more of the first one. As I've said, it's a lot of footage from the first one and the second one.
There is one game that I really like, and I can't think, and it isn't just the Tales game. The Tales one with the fox, where you have to get the scripts.
Oh, Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah, Super Lucky's Tale. There was once a game on PlayStation 1 that I really enjoyed playing, and it was like a platform game, and it was basically a fox dressed as a knight. And I'm sure it's like Knightly or something like that.
It's Kingsley. That's it. I remember it now.
Kingsley.
You said that.
And I used to enjoy that. But I found it frustrating after a while, the fact that I just couldn't get any further. But like I said, it kept crashing.
That's quite a rare game now, Kingsley.
But I love that game. I mean, it's quite a long time. A lot of those old Mega Drive.
Does anyone have any guess what they think game number 1's going to be? I think a lot of people might either not have played game number 1 or will go, that's a perfectly functioning game. And as a game, it does function, but it's not very good.
Back to the Future 2 is just terrible.
Yeah.
That's just everyone's talking about Back to the Future.
But do we want to? Did anyone watch the Back to the Future cartoon? That was awesome as well.
I'm going to say the cartoon was cool. I remember the cartoon.
And the Telltale video game. That was all right. But have you got any idea what the first one will be?
Now you've put...
It's a game that's available on Switch expansion. So you will be able to play this if you've got a Switch expansion pass. After you've talked about it today.
Anything to do with Link?
No.
You just put Link on there.
No.
Okay.
That's just, I'm just reusing the top 10 numbers from when they were the best.
It's a game on the Switch.
No, people will be able to play it on the Switch. It's on a Nintendo console from before, but it's on expansion pass. So if anyone's got that on the Switch, they'll be able to play that after we talked about it.
I don't know if it's one of the Mario games.
Daniel's right. You're right, Daniel. Yeah.
Oh.
Darkadder's right. We talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did. My favourite ever game on platform has to be Gauntlet. Oh, love the
Telltale games are good, yeah. My favourite's probably Paper Mario, aren't we? Paper Mario games are brilliant. I love the humour in them. And I just think they're such... If you're not used to RPGs, they're just great, I think. But no, Paper Mario would never be on here. Paper Mario is decent. It is, in fact, and I love the franchise, and I thought it would play similar to the franchise games. Let's see the comments first. Yeah, that game killed a franchise. It did, yeah. Sad days. Rest in peace. But this is... I don't know how many people actually played it. It was on the Game Boy. This is Pokemon trading card game, the video game, and it is absolutely the worst game I have ever. I would rather play any other game on this list than... I thought it would be the same as the normal games, but instead of battling people with Pokemon, you'd have, and you go around collecting more cards, be open world thing. No, it's a lot shorter a game than that. And I think I've got a picture of the open world in a minute. There's no open world. Yeah. You just leave a building and then you select another building to go to. And it will kind of teach you how to play the game, but it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's not really the journey though, is it?
No. They try to play it up as a journey with legendary. There you go. There's the open world. When you leave a building, you select another building to go to. There's no... I thought it would be like big open world like the normal games, but you just substitute out the Pokemon battles for card games. And it's not that at all.
I can't remember if I have actually played this or not, but I remember seeing it and thinking it looks very frustrating to play.
I actually owned it.
That's me that loves Pokemon. But I must admit, I would put that as one of the worst Pokemon ones.
One of the worst game. I put it as the worst game, number 1. There you go. But,
so I completely agree.
That's actually, funnily, that's available on Switch expansion on the Game Boy part. So people can play that and tell me if they agree, but I don't think anyone's disagree.
I think that was, and I think I felt a bit cheated because I prefer the physical cards. Because I heard about it and I thought, why get it if you can get the actual card? And then I thought, and the packs, the expansion packs and stuff. And I'm like, why? What is the point of this?
people can look this up anywhere. As I say, it's on.
Mm.
If you've got the expansion pass where you can play the old games on the online service, this is on the Game Boy section. Funnily enough, the Pokemon games aren't.
I mean, don't
But
get me
everyone
wrong.
had to see this. They were like, "Yeah, let's put this on."
Don't get me wrong. I like this sort of like 8-bit pixelated.
If you've got the
pictures and all
time, it
the
will
effort.
teach you how to play the game. Probably,
Yeah.
but
See, I like the 8-bit tech, like sort of look and everything, but yeah, Pokemon Stadium.
it's N64.
Everybody
but,
had it on the. I really didn't get it. I liked it on N64.
It was on N64.
And I only enjoyed it because I just get like happy memories with my brother and like joining. He had red and then I had blue and then we put them in the N64 and then obviously like
That's what it was made
put
for.
them against each other,
Yeah.
and I think that's what I enjoyed.
It's no use.
It was the memory. So
it's no use having it on it. They've got 1 and 2 on the expansion pass, but there's no point if you can't add the Game Boy games to them, because that was the whole point of the game. It's missing. But yeah, definitely that is the worst video game. Would you not get any more video games that come to mind for you? I thought you'd go, this is bad, or this is bad, or
no.
I'm sure there's games I've played before where you've gone, no, that's rubbish.
I think after a while you play that many and you're like, I actually can't remember what is the worst.
Oh yeah, I had to kind of think back to make this list. But yeah, I can't go into more detail. I can try, but it's just very bad, that game.
The Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Sword, I felt like it did take, because of obviously if you originally played the Game Boy game, it's not as advanced and fast paced as the ones like Pokemon Shield and Sword is. That's what I noticed, because I kept going, pressing, come on, I know what to do, just let me get on with it, and I did find that kind of bit of teething. At the same time, I've got to think, well, it is actually for younger generation now.
I did like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, though. I just like the whole thing that you could throw it like on the phone when you're playing Pokemon Go. And you could just put if you've got your phone, you could set up to the Switch and just put all your Pokemon in from Pokemon Go as well.
I bet this has to be one of the least downloaded expansion first game ever.
I think the Joneses and Fairground DeLorean are going to download it on their Switch just to play. I think you might out of curiosity. But it's just not. It's not. I remember I actually owned the game back in the day, and I was expecting it to be something else. And it seems like a really weird cash grab, because that probably took a lot of time to make that and put into the game's code that this is how the card game works with all the different cards. You've got to have all this. It seems like a lot of effort went in just to not go all the way with it.
But yeah, we'll have to arrange when people are free for a gaming night.
I have to arrange to see Fairground DeLorean on Saturday.
Yes.
He's going to Oktoberfest.
Are you going?
He's a man of mystery.
Stuff.
I wonder if Dan's going to Oktoberfest at some point. I'm sure they have one at Thorpe Park as well, don't they? I think it's going to be a good day at Oktoberfest.
I think it'll be good. I hope the weather's going to be good. Although tomorrow I've heard it's
much more expensive than last year.
No, I think the weather's going to be like 25 degrees tomorrow or something, which I know that's Friday.
I know it's
tomorrow,
not going to rain
but
Saturday.
It may get cold the next day. I don't know.
Thorpe Oktoberfest. I wonder what that's like.
Let us know how it goes.
Wonder
We've never been there before.
Not Oktoberfest, no. We've not been in like 10 years.
No, we need to. Well,
we need to go, but I never. Something else comes up. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Just never, even with Hyperion, it's like, is it worth the trip? I don't.
23 cloudy on Saturday. It's still not going to take a smile off my face seeing everyone there, because it's going to be awesome. Honestly, it's just going to be awesome.
Yeah, it should be quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burton's been promoted to the live stage finally. We said that last year.
CFC Daniels, that would be brilliant.
But yeah, Burton's on the main stage this year.
Oh, cry.
I don't know if he's still going to be in the beer cupboard at some point. The accordion player that everyone loves.
Yeah,
he's
Rob
on the main
said
stage.
he is. Oh, on the main one.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's been promoted after we kept complaining
heard...
last year, didn't we, that he should be on
Well,
there.
we said, yeah. So clearly people are listening. So thank you, whoever's listening. We appreciate it. Even the thing, though, I mentioned about the shelter, like I briefly mentioned to the staff with how hot it was, you guys need something to like shelter yourselves in case, for weather. And then all of a sudden there's a shelter this year. So I was like, yes, get in.
I know what stage in the courtyard this year. Oh, that's going to be manic. Everyone's going to be. That means two things. Everyone's going to be on the lawn instead. And two, it means they might not be selling beer in the courtyard, which means that's the only place you can get beer with Moan and Pass discount.
It's going to get a lot of queues there.
There's gonna be a lot of
So
people
that's
sitting
why
down.
you've got a pass. So everyone's going to buy the beers at once and then just sit with all the beers, aren't they? That's the only way to go about it.
What do you mean? No, you're not going to be able to get a discount because they're probably not going to sell them from the courtyard if nothing's in the courtyard. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the only place where you can get it with discount.
Coming back, it seems a step in the right direction. Who needs to spread? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it. 13's got their one come back, haven't they?
I must admit, I do miss it, but there is some people that do take advantage, aren't they, of like go in a group and like, oh yeah, we're all single riders.
What's wrong with that? That's the point of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
They're not sat together.
I think
that's
it's
fine.
just, yeah. I think
We
it's
do
just
that.
lucky if
What's
people.
going
No, I'm just saying it's just really lucky if people are, but I can explain it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with single rider
Yeah,
queues.
but there is some people that go queue there and go, oh, can I sit with so and so on there? And it's like,
My staff member go, no, you can't. And then I'll go, no, you can't. And they'll go, what? I'll go, me no speak English, except that sentence where I said you can't do it. So, new show, songs for the. That's the thing I think they need to do with Oktoberfest, because it's just, as much as I like it, what are we laughing about now?
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of you with that wrestling. Me not speak English. Is that thing?
I don't know what you're on about.
The wrestler, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh God, you're actually talking. Yeah, that sounds a bit bad. Don't.
No, but
I thought you were talking about the film, The Wrestler, and you're actually talking about someone in real life.
Shinsuke
Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that. But
sorry.
I think this is a step in the right direction because it's been a carbon copy. As much as I like it, we know we're going to show up there, and Seven Nation Army is going to come on at a certain time, 3 times a day or 4 times a day, and we're going to go. And don't forget to sing along. It's going to be the same songs. So it's nice to have a new show with different songs in.
We need to have the don't forget to sing along bit.
Oh, they're actually discounting. I wonder if they put the prices up to match that. I wonder if Ben's going to try and toast his own marshmallows.
Do you know what? Toasting your own marshmallows.
Well, they stopped it last year.
I know they did. They put a sign, didn't they? They might do it again this year. Because of Ben.
Well, it was, yeah. We all had our vlogs where we eat marshmallows and put them over the thing.
If you do, sometimes we'll have a snack box as well. So if people want to bring the snacks, and then we're happy to share.
Yeah, that as well. I don't think I like the fact that the beer colours not got a stage.
Oh yeah, the Umpire party
because,
as well. The band, Umpire band.
Yeah.
They're going to be there.
See, I'm pretty sure the Nemi beer and the Hyperion beer are renamed other beers that those breweries do. So you could probably find it a lot cheaper under its actual name. Yeah, I agree with that. Snacks in their bag as well. But
could get a little snacking pretzel.
I'm not a fan of pretzels really. They're just like pretzels just remind me of those. The bigger ones are kind of a bit special, but pretzels just remind me of those snack things you used to get, where it's like a whole snack platter, and you pull the thing off, and there's different, and everything looks and kind of crunches like it's made of wood, and
I feel like you're chewing like the chipped wood chippings from the park or something.
I don't know if a beer fest it would work to have different breweries show up with their vans, I guess, but they kind of do that. I don't know how I'm going to feel about no beer colour, because I think that is going to be rammed. Like, you know, we usually sit near the front with the Joneses and everyone else we're with, and we have a good dance now. There's going to be everyone from the beer colour who likes to do that going to be there as well, and it's going to be like flipping mosh pit. Dick Tock, watch out. And everyone going, that's not his name. And then I have to reiterate, what's your name? And he goes, I'm called Dick Tock. I remember last year, I can't remember who it was. Someone in our group thought I was having a laugh. I'm like, no, that's his name. I'm like, no, it's not. And then he came along, he was like, yeah, my name's Dick Tock. Like, the character was like,
I think that might have been me.
No, I think it was someone else that we were with. I think a lot of people put stock in stuff like, people bought the Hyperion beer thinking it's going to be worth a lot one day. And I think as time goes on, there's going to be a few people that might pay a stupid amount for it, and you're going to struggle to find them. But I think in like 20 years, if you still have a can of that, there's not going to be a market for it because no one's actually going to want to buy it. And I think I see this sometimes with merchandise on the internet where you'll see something that's bought from a theme park. It might be rare, they might still actually sell it. And then people will artificially inflate the price. It's like, but they're not selling it, so that's not the going rate for it. And people go, oh yeah, the going rate for a 1994 Alton Towers map, yeah, it's rare and it's old. But if no one's buying it at that price, people can put it on eBay all day long and say, I want like 200 quid for it or something. I don't know what the price is now. And it's like, well, if no one's buying it, that's not the going rate. That's a stupid price that you're not going to sell it for. So it's just a bit. And I think that's the same with the beer. I think a lot of people have bought a lot of the beer. The one thing I did like about the Nemesis beer was there was someone there when we were queuing for Nemesis, came over to see his friends. It was some kind of, I don't think it was a vlogger, but he was a thuzy, as Rocco would say. Shout out to Rocco. He was just coming over. He bought like 5 or 6 in a bag or something. He was just slinging one. And it's like, that's just such a great image. It's just like, in one fell swoop, it looks like we're at Thorpe Park. He just swinging on this beer, just walking down like towards the Nemesis shop. I just thought it was great.
Toasty with the Jones. The Joneses said about like the beer as well. Like
Oh, Nemesis beer is just laugh and scream. Okay. Yeah, they probably don't care about the beer. Oh, they got an axe throwing thing. That's quite cool. They used to have axe throwing at Knott's Maze. Check out the Knott's Maze vlog in the description, because that torch was really bright. If no one's seen the vlog, I took a bright torch, and people we were with were like, "Oh, you've brought the bright torch then?" And I hadn't actually used it yet. And when I used it, it was literally blinding, wasn't it? You took a photo from a platform on the other side of the maze, and it looked like you were taking a photo of the sunset. It was like, no, that's the torch from far away. Yeah, I was shining at you.
And the worst thing is, Mike actually shined it right in my eyes.
Well, you couldn't avoid it, really, because you were so far away, it was going to shine on that whole stage.
It was that blind, like that dazzling, like, oh.
You can speed up that process, Sibby, if you put it in the freezer. I've got a Nemesis can and a Hyperion can, and I really appreciate it because they were gifts from someone. But we'll probably review it at some point. It's not the kind of thing. I don't know. It's not the kind of thing I'd hold on to and go, okay, someone was to buy it off me. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. Take up space as well. The Misterons, yeah, look like the Misterons.
It's nice the fact that we've got like good friends though.
He still hasn't answered us if he's going on Saturday, Fairground DeLorean. Let us know if you're going on Saturday, but also, hopefully I'm going to have it finished tomorrow or Saturday. The vlog from when we went to the Great British Car Journey.
Yes.
And there's DeLorean set outside. And for £10 per lap, you can drive the DeLorean.
We thought about you straight away. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need to come back here again and have a go at a lap in the DeLorean.
Well, you could drink them, go some of the Joneses, and then just like clean them out on the inside. But yeah, that is really cool, that museum. There's only Thursdays and Fridays, I think, you can drive a whole load of cars, like a load of old cars. It's something like, is it the early 1900s with the Morris Minors and stuff, and you basically go through the whole museum and the cars are kind of in order of the different eras.
They did, there was an old one, which was an Austin one, which was one of the earlier models, where it actually had the crank to start it up at the front of the car. So it was an Austin.
Well, it's parked outside. We didn't go in it, but it's got a sign next to it that says £10 per lap, where you can drive around. How big would you say that? It's kind of almost an oval with a few corners. Yeah. I think the idea is that they expect you to do more than one lap, but yeah, £10 a lap doesn't seem bad if you want to drive a DeLorean.
I think I'd probably ask for 2 laps, actually, maybe, depending how long the first lap is.
But I felt really old when, the vlog will be up soon when I get it finished, but there was a funny bit where near the end, there was a Ford Mondeo and it said it was 2003, and I felt really old that that's over 20 years ago. I was like, obviously the maths makes sense when you look at the numbers, but it just feels weird to think 2003 was over 20 years ago.
Like the Rover cars and things like that. It was just, it's so good for like, and the fact that there's just a lot of good information. Like if you're a bit of a
it's a bit of a spoiler alert
in the
vlog, but when we get to there's a bit with Vauxhall Cavalier, and I was like, oh my god, these were brilliant. It was either Vauxhall Cavalier or Sierra back in the day, and then I turn around and there's a Ford Sierra there, and I'm like, I'm pretty much just saying about it, and then it's happened.
And there is also a Welsh sports car, which you will see.
The Joneses have already seen it. I sent it to them.
I know.
Have you noticed Fairground DeLorean still hasn't said if he's going to Oktoberfest on Saturday?
Oh, Sibby!
I said he was never going to go.
We've always got other adventures to
Yeah, we've got some other adventures set with Sibby already.
So exciting. I don't know why I sounded like Mr. Bean then.
I'm talking about other adventures. We've also got The invoice has been paid. It's all set. The ERS is there for both days. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see how the pin badges come out. So I'll get pin badges with that logo on. And also buy the book is in the description. But is there other stuff you want to mention before we wrap it up today?
No, I just want to say everyone thank you
Photo
again
challenge. Haven't you got a photo
for...
challenge?
I have, but I can't remember the prompt because I literally have just rocked up from work. So the photo challenge then, obviously, if people post it on their stories, tag me in Stacey_L2E, and then you should be able to tag me in it, and then I'll show it up on mine, and it'll be put in highlights again. But like I said, I'm very laid back about it because it's just for a bit of mindfulness for when you got that busy part of the day and you're like, oh crikey. It's just for those couple of seconds where you just take a deep breath and take the photo. And for this one, it's September. It is fire.
Fire.
So fire is the one to do. And earlier on this year, I did do one that was wood, which was way back in May. And everyone said, oh, it's going to be Wicker Man photos. Try think out of the box a little bit. Something different to do with fire. Ah!
Oh, it's probably not going Saturday, unfortunately.
Ah.
But I'll agree. I was going about Sierra more. Sierra Cosworth, to be exact. But they had the Cavalier there. The Cavalier's a rather ugly car, I think. But the Ford Capri. I love that. Because I always wanted one when I was a kid. I thought the Ford Capri was just a brilliant looking car. I just really do. I love it. Because I was going to buy a hoodie, but they didn't have any. I think they had large, but they didn't have extra large.
But they have a website that we can
they got a
buy
website you can buy it on. It'll be in the vlog. Hopefully, it'll drop tomorrow if I can get it finished. But yeah.
Or I could just get you the hoodie for your birthday.
But what? No.
Yeah.
You could do. I don't like to mention my birthday on here because people ask when it is.
No.
But yeah, I'm having Sibby in my vlog when we do Milton Keynes because I've already what's the word for it? I got dibs on him sitting next to me when we go on the Gulliver's Dark Ride and through the Gulliver's essentially a walk-through dark ride upstairs of that building because his reaction is, if anyone saw our vlog from Warrington, Gulliver's World, and his reaction to when we went on the boat ride in the station, that's going to be nothing compared to when he reacts to the Gulliver's Travels ride at Milton Keynes. I think that's going to be brilliant.
Oh, do you know what? I can't explain it. Everybody complimented at how brilliant it was run, the whole like meet up and everything.
I can't help but feel
everyone was just so welcoming and so nice. And
if I ask a question now, was the Flamingo Land the least best one? And then I think if people say that now that it is, was that because we didn't have to stay together? Because when we did the Gulliver's ones, we had to stay together.
Yeah.
I didn't get any Oasis thing. I'm not really. I think their songs are all right, but I'm not really a fan of going to see live music because I don't like how other people act. It's like I don't like going to the cinema because someone will kick my seat or someone will put their mobile phone on and be lit up like Vegas at night because the whole restaurant's dark. I really don't like the experience of other people.
See,
I'd rather watch. There's going to be a DVD.
I'm the opposite, and I've been to loads of gigs, and I do enjoy going to.
Oh no, I don't mind. I don't mind music like at Oktoberfest. But when you're just crammed in, and it's like, I can do without this. I can watch the DVD when it comes out.
I've seen so many famous people as well off stage, and I think unfortunately I didn't get any Oasis tickets. My cousins did, and someone else, my colleague at work, did. So yeah, did you get any Oasis tickets as well?
What I find funny is it's taken this long till the year 2024 with Oasis tickets being sold for like more than double the amount for the government to get involved and go, we should look at what's happening with these ticket sales. Like it's taken Oasis to come back and the prices to go really weird. Like it's been happening for decades and now the government's like, let's look into it.
DeLorean and Civi, do correct me if I'm wrong. It is Fairground. Is it Fairground?
It's month,
yeah.
Yeah.
Have I got the name right, Fairground, or is it something else? I thought I'd check. Ed Shikari. Oh, that's such a shame, though. Oh, I hope you're going to Shikari, though. They're quite fun. They seem not as heavy as they used to be. I'm sure they were a lot heavier music when in their earlier days, but I could be wrong.
World of Fun Fair.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, it's the World Fun Fair Month. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got the social coming up near the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Oktoberfest this Saturday. We've got another thing we've not told anyone about the weekend after, so that should be fun. Yeah, then we've got a couple of. I'm not going to say where they are. We've got a couple of. I think they're press events for scare attractions in. There's one at the end of September and one in October. Yeah.
They're very lucky. Looking forward to it though.
Ramesh Ranganathan. His real first name is Jonathan, by the way. That's a weird fact. Well, we're going to do Goose Fair with you, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Still great.
We are going to be part of bit of it.
I do see your posts on Facebook, Dark Adder as well, Daniel. See his posts about stuff.
All the stuff is great.
Well, we're going to fun fairs as well. I'm sure. Well, we're going to fun fair with Sibby, so he's at least going to cover it in the month.
What are we doing? It's not like wife swap, but it's more like.
What are you on about?
Thrill swap.
What are you on about?
I found it in my head. It's not like wife swap. It's like thrill swap. So you swap in like the thrill of the fun fair for the thrill of the theme park and the other way around.
It's a side project. But yeah, I think that's on the day that everyone else found out. I don't think anyone disagreed with me that the worst video game ever made was Pokemon Trading Card Game, the game. If anyone thinks that there's a worse video game ever made than that, let me know in the comments after this isn't live. Yeah, that escalated quick, didn't it? Yeah, I thought that was a weird thing to bring up.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean that. In my head, I knew what I meant, but I just can't quite get the idea.
Oh, the program on Channel 5. I will actually hang about a bit to talk about that. But let's get rid of this nonsense. I thought it was... You watched all of it.
I'm embarrassed now about that. So.
Which just seemed weird. That's the first thing that came to your head.
Sorry.
That's an analogy. But
my mind is weird.
That program, and if anyone didn't see it on Channel 5, called When Theme Parks Go Horribly Wrong, it was all right. You watched it all. I kind of watched like the second half. And no offense to anyone who was in it, we knew a lot of people that were in it. And there was a lot of kind of advertisement people that were in it on social media who everyone knows in the community going, oh, look, this show's on, I'm in it, so everyone watch it. And it was all right. I think if that was a YouTube video that someone posted, it would get a lot of hatred for the clickbait title of When Theme Parks Go Horribly Wrong. Yes. And one example I'll put, and he's a great guy and he's got a big channel, and no offense to him and his content, but to call the show that, which probably wasn't his idea because he was on as a guest, they then got him to come on and talk about him going to, I think it was Dubai, because the Starflyer, they wouldn't let him on it. And I'm thinking, if I had been in like a roller coaster crash, like there was one at MD's in Scotland, where it actually came, that's what, as an example, I'd be quite offended that there's a program called When Theme Parks Go Horribly Wrong, and no one's rang me up to go, can you tell us about this horrible story? Oh no, there's a guy who's been to Dubai and he couldn't get on a Starflyer.
It's more
it was very clickbait title, I thought.
Horribly wrong as in like actual like accidents or... Yeah.
But it was an all right program. I think the title needed to be, it was like steady on whoever's making this, you've had a few too many.
I must admit with that, it is the worst timing. It really is the worst timing.
So they used their footage without asking them, I'm guessing. And they'll argue it's fair use, won't they?
There is a lot of the footage from like other sources that they took off. So, but to be fair, it's whatever was put in my head. It was whatever they collected on social media and just crammed it into one program. And then they kept doing the odd funny part as well as the theme park that wasn't expected. And it was like, okay. But absolute credit to the dad as well that went to go rescue the daughter from the water ride as well.
Oh, they had a Smiler segment did there about that accident.
They mentioned that, yeah. I watched it all.
That's quite interesting about that. Yeah, it's weird to put that in and then put light-hearted stuff, but again, if you like that kind of thing, then it's not a bad program, but it's a very misleading title, I thought.
I think when theme parks do the unusual, that's what I think it should have. Well, do not the usual sort of thing.
It's like theme parks do the funniest things. That's what it was seemed like to me.
Mm.
It's like when we go to a theme park next, we should do a segment in the vlog when theme parks go horribly wrong. I didn't get my change from the pint. You know what I mean? It should be like, well, there was nothing in that second half I watched that. The only thing that was partly weird was some guy went to Asia. It seemed very like it was a good program. I'm not bad-mouthing anyone.
Yes, I agree on that one, Daniel.
But it seemed like there was a lot of.
I thought that was strange.
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Obviously, if no one agrees, it seemed like there was a lot of nepotism in there. It seemed like if you knew the right people, they were going to ask you to come on, whether you had a story or not, and get you to talk about. Because it was weird how they got the guy to talk about going on that random Ferris wheel in India, and that was really interesting. But I kind of thought he's an enthusiast, and it's kind of like there seemed like there was a lot of nepotism there. Like a lot of the people in it probably knew the guy who was making it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
He didn't go out of his way to go.
Yeah, I agree with that one as well, Sibby.
The big one Preston's mentioned.
To end on a positive, yes, we did meet the best people.
But yeah, you can play this on Switch, by the way.
But also through our channel that we met the best people too, because.
And at the socials.
I think if we didn't meet people through the socials and everything, then I think we wouldn't be where we are today. So, but yeah, I might just keep showing this game.
On the day we found out this was the worst video game ever made. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah. I kind of don't want to get too much into it now, otherwise this live's going to get a lot of attention. But I've said what I've said. It's what it is. But yeah, those were the worst 10 video games. So I think we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to enjoy Oktoberfest at the weekend. Yeah, the days of Thought Park Mania. Yes, which I think is now dead. That was when theme parks go horribly wrong. Thought Park Mania dying.
Wow. Oh gosh, back in the day.
Do you want to mention? I'll play a song. I'll get.
I just want to say, everyone, thank you again for just watching. It's absolutely amazing to see this many people and to actually have you on the chat as well. So thank you all for your attendance. That makes it sound very teacherish, but obviously,
check out the vlogs in the description, and also check out the new vlog tomorrow if it drops. Yeah, socials are good. There was only meant to be one this year. Now they've had a third one, so. It's all good. And we're getting ERS as well. So I'll get a song to play us out anyway. So I'll
we'll see you
in the review.
Because for now,
we're gone.
Have a good weekend. Bye!
Will you look back when you're old and grey and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away. Some kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember. I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
smallest violin. Let it be loud enough to get over you and all your friends. And I will sing these words to make it true, through and through, so you know how much I hate you. I will play the smallest violin. Let it be loud enough to get over you and all your friends. I will sing these words through and through, so you still know how much I hate you. Look back when you're old and gray at the ghost. Some kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you remember. I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipes don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
Little Greg McFlorberger found love in the village of the hobbits.